A very good evening, everybody. Welcome in VGPR in Brazil for the last round of Season 3. We are already hosting after we began in July, and it's full wet conditions, ladies and gentlemen. Something that the drivers will probably not be happy with, and this is something you gotta watch out for. Full wet for qualifying, as it was also raining in Japan, and right now we're gonna see what will happen in Tier 2. At the moment. And we are here in Brazil for the Brazilian Grand Prix. Wet weather condition as it was, of course, in the real race back in November. And we're gonna see what the results will be in Brazil, as we have 14 drivers. Some for the last, some are changing teams, and some are staying at their teams. We'll see what will happen in the next season, as the sign-ups are currently open for Season 4, and we are excited about it. For the last Grand Prix we're gonna host today, as we see, Rick is one of the first out on the tires. It's so wet right now. I think it's even, it's Joppe who's the first out of many. And expect people to make mistakes. It's so goddamn wet here. As we are currently looking 6 people in the stream. Welcome, everybody, for the last dance in Season 3. And then we're moving on to Season 4 after probably, I think, a month break. And then we're gonna go and hopefully can start pre-season testing. And we can start our season back up again. Of course, we are looking for multiple new drivers. See, Joppe sliding with the rear, trying to go uphill. Brazil, of course, being a very short track and also a very tricky track. Almost no slow speed support. There's a lot of medium speed, but in the wet, everything can happen. As a certain Atasena once said, the rain makes all cars equal, and it certainly is shown in multiple different races. As Joppe but has a little bit track ahead of Ruben, and I think Ruben will move out. Ruben is on the Inter tire, because the wets are kind of useless on this game, as they have been for quite some time. Also in real life, the FIA is scared to run the wet tires, because they're a bunch of pussies. Joppe going through the tricky sector of Sector 2, a lot of medium speed corners, not necessarily slow speed. This is the slowest corner on the track he's going through right now. It's a very nice combination of corners. So we are quickly grabbing the track map, of course, of Sao Paulo, when it's being held in November this year. Also, previous year was a beautiful race we had in Sao Paulo, with Max Verstappen taking victory from 17th on the grid. Today we don't have that much drivers on the grid, as Joppe set the benchmark at 122.8. It's fast lap time that the rest will have to beat. There's some other people also out. I think Rick actually will be the next to cross line. He goes fast with 3/10. I think we have his teammate Ryan. He's also going on his lap. He's on the Inter tires. Cross line now goes now at 22.8, as we see Fryfan and Abdman both going fast in the 121s. Both are Inter tires. As you can clearly see the Inters are better in this game. In real life, that will probably not be the chance. See some other drivers, of course, also Gele 8 and Laxi ahead, I think. Frenchman going across the line now. It will move up to steady P8 as Gele 8 will go fastest with 128.8. Justice in P4. So we're quickly gonna look at the tires. Yeah, we see Gele is on the wet weather, so it's definitely a little bit quicker, I think, on the Inters, but it really depends with the drivers. As Charleston is 4th fastest, we have Joe is 5th fastest. Very good lap for Joe. Joe being very good and qualifying in recent time. We see yellow flag as sector 2. That's I think Liam, who is Joppen, probably gonna go for another lap. We see I think Ruben also setting his final lap, going uphill through the corners for the straight. My nose is kidding. And Ruben goes 5th fastest with a fastest final sector. So running some lower wings. We see some other people out. We see Hellraiser purple in the middle sector. It's very good here. Up here he goes to turn 13, 15 and 13. Turn 13, 14 and 15. I cannot speak for fuck's sake. Hellraiser across the line he will go now, and will go fastest with 8/10 of a second between him and Gele 8. And that's a very good benchmark to beat. Nothing else to say. And Hellraiser doing his job. As Gele 8 goes already fastest with again on the wet weather, so the track is definitely improving a lot. So expect the lap times to probably drop around I think the 119s even as we enter maybe even a 118 for those who are quicker. And trouble in the Mercedes garage for Ryan, who has forgotten his setup, so it will be a tough weekend for him. So I think we saw Ferrari fell. No. Wait till Ferrari was in pit lane. We saw somebody climbing onto. I think that was Charker actually. Charker's flying with his rear, going down to the Red Al Posta. Going to turn 4. Curve, but yeah, not much today. You're just watching along with Charker sliding his car, going uphill to turn 7 as Hellraiser goes fast with 120.8. We're already in the 120s, so that will drastically drop. Yeah, CJ is of course still also on the lap. Sector 2 is going now, and now downhill. And then uphill again for the last bit. CJ is not purple sector, but sliding his car, he's fighting that car all over, and Charker spinning. He was fighting that car all along, but after some time it has to come to an end, and Charker loses his car. Not the best start of the Brit. Ruben climbed up to P4 actually, and Abdon also not too far behind, showing he has decent pace. But of course the traction control is helping him a lot in the wet weather compared to some other drivers. Still, as a stand right now for Ferrari, it's really good that Ferrari man has poles. That's actually 1 extra point and will get, but they need to outscore them by a lot of points. So yeah, and if Ferrari gonna want to, and it's possible for them to win the championship. But otherwise it will be very difficult for them if Aston Martin gets close to a top place position, as we get a commercial of course when trying to check as Hellraiser. Again, 8/10 quicker. Ruben moving up into P2 with a 120.9. Hellraiser 8/10 quicker again. Hellraiser showing he has space, and I think he will go in at a certain point to change his Inter tires. Let's try to get a little bit extra time as we're currently looking at the standings. Charles has won the championship of course in Japan, but Ferrari is 36 points behind Aston Martin after scoring 28 points in Japan, and Aston scoring 0 with Lexi not racing, of course also in Spa Lexi not racing. So the hunt for the championship for Aston Martin is still on. So we're currently looking at Aston has outscored Ferrari in most Grand Prix with the highest point finish overall for a team. And that was in Qatar, where they scored 60 points, and 60 points is, of course, with the sprint weekend. Of course, Aston Martin dominating at the weekend, getting a 1-2 and a 1-3 in the sprint and in the main race. And also Ferrari losing points in Bahrain. They lost 9 points. Yeah, in Qatar they lost 36 points, and again in Kota in Texas they lost 27 points. Then they bounced back with 7 points, and then again they lost 31 points in Australia with Aston Martin getting another 1-2, and then Ferrari came back with 57 points in the sprint weekend in Great Britain, and 18 points then 60 points equal for them in Zandvoort, and then Ferrari outscored them massively in Monza with 70 points, and then lost 9 points in Imola, and then again so on as they scored also 28 points in Japan, and Aston Martin outscored them with 3 in Spa. As we see, Charleston has climbed up to the 119.4. So this is very good for Aston Martin, with Lexi currently still in only 13th place. Hellraiser. CJ climbs up to P3. I muted myself as Ruben climbs up to P2. Fryfin in steady P5. Adamant in the steady P6. Gele still on the 121s. I think the Dutchman is on the lap right now. Trying to rotate the car while having not the best setup can be tricky, but it's lining up with the rain, and it looks like left hands will continue to drop as Gele will be steady with the power and go across lines. Job is in the pit lane right now, which pretty spread as Hellraiser goes fast again, but not with much. With half a tenth he goes faster than his rival. Gele will climb up to P3. I'm currently looking for some CJ is invalidated. G5 is not on the lap, I think, at the moment. No, yes, he is. He's using overtake. So Admin also behind, so he will catch some dirty air. I think Rens, he will start the lap right now. FC Joe climbing up to P5. Jacob starting up with 6 minutes to go on the clock. FC Rens entering the pit lane. Job is on the outlap again. We see Alexi climb to P5. It's way better for the Frenchman, but not good for Ferrari. Tricky stuff. We see your championship winner in entering the pit lane, and also Ruben entering the pit lane. Need a miracle for Ferrari to win this championship. Miracles have been given here, but can it be done again? That's the most important question, because yeah, even if they score already at pole position, it will be so difficult for them to win the championship, because they can score 45 points. As Aptiman climbs actually up to P2. That's a good buffer between him and Charleston. CJ is actually dropped back down to P9, but I think he's already on a lap again, and same goes for no, because yeah, that's yeah. Both V-Carbs are bottom 2, not the best laps of them. For Liam as well, especially he has front wing damage, and I assume he spun. Yeah, maybe he's spinning in turn 4, and that will not be the best shot. His Charker was fastest with a 119.0 compared to the rest at 3.5 that's faster than Hellraiser. And yep, the times will continue to drop as Joppe climbs up to P2. Very good lap time for him, moving out of that P13 and climbing up into the top 2. But the question is, will it be enough for the rest of the lap? We will see as right now. Hellraiser, I think, is also on the lap himself. Cross line he will go. The Austrian climbs back up with 4 tenths between him and Jarker. In a 118 we already are. And I think a 117 will not even be too much to ask for these drivers. And Gelen goes fastest again. Yeah, track keeps improving. Lap times keep dropping. As we see multiple drivers in the pit lane right now. As we see, yeah, Laxi still is in the pits right now. In the P9. This Joe is actually 2 seconds. We're right now on board with the Alpine driver and a fellow Dutchie as well. It's a P3, a steady lap from him. 5/10 of Hellraiser, but certainly ahead of Charker. See CJ, I think. Yeah, CJ going into the pit lane and will change tires and fuel load one more time, and then it will be the last lap he will set. Was sliding, but he's not certainly on the lap. He is validated as Abaddon is also in the pit lane. Most also in the pit lane. Rens is out on lap right now. Fellow Red Bull driver, of course. We see, yeah, the 3 mates in P11 to 13, not the best. As Liam also not doing too good with 124.2 still. That's 6 seconds between him and Gele. That's something that has to be addressed. But most people just play the game for fun. I don't bomb a sweat that hard. My question is, will it be wet in a race or will it be dry? And that's the main question we're gonna ask ourselves today. Currently still no response, but we will see in 3 minutes time if it's wet or dry in a race. It's still raining, so if somebody goes out on the slicks, they're clearly be stupid. So, welcome Tommy, welcome to the stream. As Rens actually purple in the middle sector. That's very good for him. Rens showing he has pace though. Right now Rens will go in that Red Bull, of course. Has not gotten a very good qualifying yet. Battery is empty for the Dutchman. And a P8 for Rens. A very steady lap for him. That's something he should be proud of. Ahead of Laxi and Fryfan. Ruben is currently on the lap himself. Going down into sector 2. Going down in the turn 10. 11. Sliding with that rear. Purple sector 2 for Ruben. Ooh, Ruben, oh, yeah. Too much on that outside curb. And that is Ruben's lap over. He will have to go again. And my favorite football team in the world at the moment is Liverpool. You see Hellraiser climbing to P1 with a 180.0. So Heliboy will have, yeah, Hellraiser has done 10 laps so far. There's been a lot of qualifying laps right now. So we have 1.20 seconds left on the clock, and Hellraiser will have to rush back in order to set another lap time. Right now on board with Gele Eend, down to turn 1 he goes. It's almost in slow motion of how slow it is in the wet. No, Gele Eend actually aborts his lap, never mind. He will, where's a few as we see Joe currently, I would probably say Ajax. As you see Joe also on the lap right now. But currently Charky also going on the lap. I think Charlester is going for another second run. Rens, I don't know if he's on second lap. We'll see in a moment if I think he might be. Now he'll go for another lap. Hellraiser has actually stayed out for the whole session. He has very old tires. So that's something we have to keep track of. Yellow in sector 2. There's one of the Mercs. That may be Rick. But we'll see who it will be. But I think, Gele Eend is not on the lap. As we see Fryfan climbs up to P2. And it's very good as his teammate is behind him, setting the final lap of his qualifying Hellraiser, being very strong in recent times. Ruben climbs up to P2. Very good lap time from the Sauber driver. But all the other drivers will probably be improving too, because the track is now way drier than it was previously. And qualifying has ended. If you're not setting your lap time, it's done. Commander is done with a 124 and he will not improve. See Ryan and Gele Eend both done as well. Gele Eend will not improve from his qualifying position. 84 will have to do for him. Ryan is done with an 18.7. Joe goes fast with 17.8. Very good lap time from the Alpine driver. Maybe he can take his first pole position. Hellraiser, we're currently on board with him. Going through sector 2. He has his teammate ahead of him, who's giving him a little bit of dirty air, but also can give him a huge slipstream. Going down the main straight. Going uphill, we see Charker crossing the line right now. Charker was fast with 70.1. A very good lap for Charker. And Hellraiser needs to improve a lot. He's not purple in the middle sector. He's losing time on his rival right now. He needs the time. And we see Joppe climbing up to P2. Very good left, and Lexi is done. Chalster has position on P1 at the moment. But Hellraiser can crush Aston Martin's heart for the second time in the race. Ferrari fan fastest, and Hellraiser will take it again. But Ferrari fan, it's a Ferrari 1-2 at the moment. Adamant climbs up to P6. Lexi is done. We see also somebody else, I think that was Ruben, climbing up to P5. Rick climbs up to P7. And Joe, yeah, Lexi starting 10th. That's very good news for Ferrari. But it's a Ferrari 1-2 in Brazil. Something we were not expecting. Ferrari fan showing his pace just a little bit behind his teammate. What on earth? Oh, yeah. But Ferrari can definitely be happy with this result. A 1-2 is all they need in order to come closer to that constructor. And I think they should be overjoyed with it. It's a 1-2 for the Scuderia in qualifying in Brazil. And for the first time in VGPR history, it's a 1-2 for the red cars. And also for the first time in 2025, it's a 1-2 for Ferrari. A 1-2... Oh yeah, what a qualifying we had today in a 1:16 at the moment. And this is a very, very good lap from Hellraiser and Ferrari showing their pace. But look in the man in P3, Chalster is in P3 currently. And we are going to see a battle between the two Ferraris and the Aston Martin, as this is your grid for the start of the Brazilian Grand Prix. And this man in P10 has to do some work, as the grid is colonized by the Dutch once again. With 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Dutch drivers. Hey, can't win them all, eh? But we'll see you in a couple of time for the start of the Brazilian Grand Prix. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and we are in the dry in Brazil. It's cloudy, but not a chance of rain so far in sight. Maybe in the future we'll see the raindrops falling down off the sky. Well, right now it's cloudy weather in Brazil, and we are going to have dry weather for the Brazilian Grand Prix. There's something on my... Our screen was a little bit dirty, but as we're standing right now, you hear the timer counting down and the formation lap will go down, as Ferrari need to score that 1-2 in order to get even close. But Chalster, yeah, needs to stay far away from them. If Chalster maybe finishes P2, I am going to do some calculations right now, because the gap is currently 35 points between Aston Martin and Ferrari. Aston Martin is still leading the way, but yeah, it will be super close. In order, if my phone just can work for 2 seconds, there we go. We're gonna grab the calculator, and we're gonna calculate what we're gonna do with the championship, as it's currently 25 points for a victory, plus 18 points is 43 points, plus 1 is 44 points they can score, and minus the 9 points that it will be. So 44 minus 35. Aston Martin needs to score more than 9, needs to score 9 or more points, and they're constructor champions. So if Lexi finishes P10 and Chalster finishes in a P6, then it could be enough for Ferrari to win the title. But they need to score that 1-2 and not let Chalster get close to a top 5 finish. As the cars are making their way up the grid, and the Ferraris need to make sure that they will not come into contact going into turn 1, and make sure that they're winning this championship, because otherwise it will be super super close of a battle as the rest of the cars are forming up. Liam, one of the few cars, as we currently see some other cars on the hard tires as some are on the mediums. Currently CJ is disqualified, and yeah, that is something he has to swallow and to deal with. Going uphill into turn 1, we will go in a minute, and the 5 red lights will go on for 36 laps in the last time in season 3. And it's lights out and away we go for Brazil. And we see someone, Red Bull, getting a decent start in the background, cutting across the inside line. Hellraiser keeping his lead, going to turn 1. We see Charles to CJ fighting. Ferrari keep their 1-2 intact. We see CJ fighting with Ruben going wheel to wheel down to the red of the pasta. We go back in the background. Gele having not a decent start at all, falling back down to P11 as it stands currently. Ryan and Rance also think not doing too well. Rickstead in P6, Laxi getting 1 place on the start. Charles is staying in P3 in the background. We see Ataman and Rick on wheel to wheel down uphill to turn 6, and Rick stays ahead of the Red Bull, but Ataman has it inside line now. But Rick will fight on with his hard tires, and it's beautiful to see these two on wheel to wheel. And right now, Ataman are on the outside of turn 8, and that is a beautiful overtake from the Brits. From the Wowers driver, I should say, as CJ is still behind. But Ferrari keep their 1-2. Hellraiser leading the way, going uphill again to turn to the corner straight. And then there's 1 lap of Brazil. Currently looking at position changes. We see Gele not having the best start, dropping back 4 places actually. He's now last. As we see Shop also not having a good start, Adam having a decent start. And Joe dropping back 1 places. And the rest is Res. Always with fast lap 1:14.4 as the first lap, as we see that as actually CJ is cutting past Charlester, but this will not be enough. Charlester will have to drop back way more, and Laxi will gain 2 points already for that team, and I think it will be close shot, but not too close for Ferrari. Oh, Charlester! Oh my goodness me! Charlester spinning on lap 2, and this is huge for Ferrari. Charlester losing his rear in turn 4, and this has blown the championship wide open as Aston Martin currently are only scoring 4 points. Oh my goodness me! This is something that has to. Oh, if Brazil could not have been more chaotic, it just has gotten more chaotic. Charlester losing his rear of his Aston Martin. We see Ruben Atman going wheel to wheel, going downhill to turn 11. And now Ruben has stayed ahead, but has not got DRS on his rival. And it's now 8 tenths between Ferrari and Hellraiser. And if they're smart, they will just stay in the DRS and let Hellraiser lead. And will not fight each other that hard as Shark is still behind them. But yeah, the rest are going uphill, but I think Apton will have a shot of the overtake, and he will certainly take that shot. And Ruben now did the inside! What an overtake from Ruben! Whoa! Not Ruben showing his balls, but spinning out on the exit curb. Oh, not the best of Ruben. But right now we go with Rick on the back of the Red Bull. There's a steady gap between the top 3 MP4. Rick cutting across the track there of turn 4. But yeah, there's now 6 points in the back for Aston Martin. 2 more and 3 more, and they're already. Yeah, Ruben. Not the best. So the bold overtake did not pay out. Saturn now has to close to the cars ahead. As we're going to look with the tire choices that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cars on the hard tires. So half the grid's on the hard, half the grid is on mediums. Mostly both Aston Martin has chosen for the hard tire. Same goes for both Mercedes. And then we have Joe on the hards as well. And Rents on the hard tires as well. And I think CJ will be close to Ferrari fan, and it will be close around the outside. Charker will go into turn 1, and Charker will take that second place away from Ferrari fan. And for the constructor, this is not good, but Ferrari fan is still on the rear of that McLaren, but both have DRS. Down to the red Aposta we go. Down to turn 4 where Max and Lewis were clashing together in 21, but CJ will stay ahead of the cars as we see Ataman fighting with Ricks in the background. Joppe in P6 is steady comeback though, but Lexi has climbed up to P6 7, so that is that's 6 points for Aston Martin. We see J-Lane to Ryan, J-Lane, oi, saving his car, but coming back on track and hindering Rance. Chelsea gets up 1 place as well, and Chelsea now has to do a lot more work in order to climb back up to the field, but I think he has the pace certainly to do that. On board, we're riding with him right now, going through the tricky sector of sector 2. Now downhill to turn 11 and uphill again to turn 12. Yeah. He not having the best race so far. Is right now Hellraiser and Farfet's now 7 tenths behind CJ. CJ, some slime in my throat, not the best. I still also moves past Rance on the straight. Same goes for Rick. Now Laxi fighting with Joe. Joe now behind him. Currently Laxi is pulling away, and Rance is the first off the bunch to get a 3-second time penalty, which is of course pretty damn easy to get here, I will admit. Especially Rick and Amden fighting still wheel to wheel, they're going. Rick staying behind. Liam also getting a 3-second time penalty, but he's fighting with Rumen. But Rumen has gotten past Liam, going uphill to turn 6 and 7. Schoppe now 1 is still in the nearest range, but Lex is still behind him. But if Aston Martin can already score that just at P6, that's already enough for the constructors. If Ferrari not scored at 1-2, because 9 points is what it needs to be. Because if they score more than 9, it's all over. They had the luck with Charleston making a mistake in lap 2. As we see Laxi climbing up, and the championship is in Aston Martin's hands currently. We see Gele moving past the Rance. Going down to the Senna S's, of course. As currently, CJ still behind Hellraiser. Showing Hellraiser not certainly giving up on that lead, but Farfan struggling to keep up and overtake CJ behind. That's something that the two will have to work together in order to get close to victory. But as I looked in earlier, they're not talking together in a voice call. So I don't know what Hellraiser is doing. But if he wants to win that championship, he should certainly talk with his teammates. Something that I don't necessarily understand. But right now on the main straight will go. Chuck again having a terrible exit, exiting turn 10, which is now 8 tenths, and Farfan is now a little bit closer, but it's not close enough to overtake Charker. 6 tenths is the gap between them. Charker using his battery, probably to gain a little bit more, but Farfan not gaining that much. So Edmund and Rick, also close, but Lexi's closing up on Rick behind, and we see Joe and Joppe. And Joppe losing another place. And there down the inside, Ryan and Charleston with the switchback trying for it. Ryan showing that he can drive wheel to wheel and placing his car beautifully, not letting Charleston pass. But right now down to the red poster we go, and the Aston Martin has DRS, and Ryan is not close enough, and Ryan will lose. Charleston will lose out for now, and so he will have to stay behind that Mercedes one more lap, I think, before it's over. Out. Schelen will also come to the party in P11. Farfan's now closer to CJ as it has been for a couple of laps. And we see that in the background, the Red Bull Atom are not really catching up with the front three. They're both in their league of their own, as Laxi still behind them in P6. But this is enough for the championship for Aston Martin. Because if we're looking at the wins statistic, if we're looking at it right now, Aston Martin has, I believe, 1 more Grand Prix than other team. If we're currently looking at the Grand Prix status, is Aston Martin's won 1, 2, 3. No, they actually won 3. Yeah, they actually won 3 races at the moment. Ferrari, actually, if they finish equal on points, we gotta look into that. If they finish equal on points and Hellraiser wins the Grand Prix, actually, then it's then that's equal with wins. Because Hellraiser has won under McLaren going into Zandvoort and Belgium, so those wins do not count for Ferrari. They will in fact count for McLaren, so they will not add up to the score of Ferrari while being a tie. And Lexus almost losing his rear into turn 8. Ooh, the Frenchman is playing with fire as it stands right now. As we see a very early pit stop for Ruben on lap 8, undercutting the rest. And presuming going for the medium tire, and that's what I guessed correctly. We're going on to mediums, and we'll do a two-stopper. Two-stopper is probably what will happen most of the time. We see there somebody going to pit. Nope, Hellraiser not going in the pit lane. Fryvan also Fryvan out of DRS of CJ. So see there, Geelend moving past Ryan. Geelend moves up at Charleston, moves past Joppe, and the championship situation has gone worse for Ferrari. As right now it will be 12 points that the team will score. And Charleston doing a little bit of celebration weave, but I think Joppe will bite back, and Joppe does bite back, and Joppe taking less corner speed for the corner as Charleston, but Charleston has more grip on the hard tires right now, and this will be tricky going uphill, but Charleston will stay behind, will tuck in behind the V-Carb, and we'll just stay up into P9. Yeah, P9. Schelen is also now behind Charleston, and it could do a McLaren Red Ferrari a favor by overtaking. Schelen going very deep into turn 10, locking up, and that will give Ryan the place back again, and this will give Charleston a very beautiful chance to overtake Joppe on the next straight. As we see two cars going in the pit lane, and those are the front two. CJ and Hellraiser going climbing up, but Charleston will stay out for now, and that will keep them busy, keep them occupied, but they will drop back down a lot. It's both going to the hard tires, and then they will go to the mediums, I presume. So 26 laps as Joppe gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple track limits as Charleston moves out to P6 currently, but that's provisionally P8. As Liam gets a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So that will be a rough frame. That will be 30 seconds of Ruben with the fast lap 110.6. Beautiful camera angle. We're getting shown right here from above. As Ryan also gets a 3-second time penalty from multiple track limits going on the inside curb off into turn 8, I assume. So yeah, Joppe already 1.2 seconds behind Charleston, but those hard tires are starting to work now. And Rick. And but Fryvan has lost a lot of momentum compared to the hard ones by, but I think, no, actually he lost a lot of momentum compared to Atman. Maybe he made a little mistake, but Fryvan going into the box on lap 10, sorry. My throat is killing me. And currently Atman leads the way again, but Joppe gets 10-second time for speeding in the pit lane, and Joppe retires from the session, not the weekend for him. As we see there, Lexi going wheel to wheel with Rick, and there goes down the red of the post. There we go, and Lexi will try to go for two moves at once. That will not go too well, but will stay ahead of Rick. He does stay ahead of Rick, but Rick now with the switchback going down to turn 5, uphill to turn 6 we go, and Rick maybe trying to go down the outside. He's certainly trying. He's going for it. Rick around the outside at turn 7, now to turn 8, and Rick makes it stick. What an overtake for him! He's going for the lead of the Brazilian Grand Prix, and Rick certainly fighting all his heart. His heart is, oh my goodness me, and Rick still fighting with Atom, but his hard tires are certainly helping him. Oh my goodness me, this yellow sector 1 is Joppe still, but yeah, rough times Joppe. But Rick showing beautiful fighting here and showing what he can do, but I think Atom will move across and will move with the pit lane, and Rick will lead his first couple laps in VGPR. As now Charleston will try to go down the inside. Alexia assume, pardon me, go down the inside. He does not succeed, and will have to stay behind the Mercedes once again as Abdeman also goes in the pit lane. But Hellraiser will climb up into P5. CJ and Charleston is behind the pair. Joppe, als je met chat gaat lopen klagen, dan kun je voor mij wel even opdonderen. Ja, ik heb hier geen zin in. See Lexi and Rick going wheel to uphill, and this could end badly, but Rick and Lexi cleave a little bit of a contact between the two. But Lexi will take the lead of the Brazilian Grand Prix on lap 12. Expect the hard runs, if they're going for a one stop, to extend to lap 20 and then pit for the medium tires around lap 16 and maybe, or if they're going for a two stopper, they will pit around lap 11. Lap 15. Let's see how Hellraiser is past Rance for another place as Charker It's behind him as well, but Charlie has a 3-second time penalty. But Fryvan is behind Charlester. So yes, he has some work to do, and Charlester still has a pit stop to make. But it's very far back, especially Joe. No, that's actually Lexi pitting on lap 13. And was he on the hards? He's on the hard tires, so Lexi will do will also do 2 stops, but it will be 2 hards and Rens gets a 10-second time for speeding in the pit lane. And so we see Lexi. Yeah, see, I think he's on the hard tires. He's again on the hard tires, so it will be hard medium for Lexi. And Rick, oh yeah, with Joe behind him, both gonna be fighting for lead at Grand Prix, but so, and CJ both are your professional 1-2. Stelson still needs to pit, and if he pits earlier on the hard tires, then the tire wear for him is really bad. But behind him is Fryvan, Abdeman, Gelate, and Lexi after just pitting as Ryan split as well. Ruben making a slide into turn 4. Rick 8.5 seconds ahead of Joe, but I think he will extend. No, he will not. Rick will move into the pit lane. Beautiful pit entry, same goes for Joe. Both and Hellraiser will take the lead again, but I think Charker is behind him, and maybe Charker fancies a move into inside. No, he will stay behind. Will try to go down to Red at the Pasta. Maybe try over to Charlester. Gets a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Oh, yeah, and this helps Ferrari. And will not help Aston Martin. 10 seconds for Charlester, and that he will have to serve in his second pit stop. Charlie, something not good for Aston Martin. The medium tires are on, and it's time to push like crazy. He's now up into 12. Especially Ferrari, especially Alfie punching his fist already in the air. I can assume it's driving still P3, but he's not getting time on CJ. And that's the only Ferrari needs to finish P2. Otherwise it will be so difficult. They're missing out on 3 valuable points. Is Lexi get the track limit as well. Yellow flag, and it's Lexi. It's Lexi. Lexi spun in I think it was lap. Turn 8, turn 9, and the disaster for Aston Martin just keeps growing and growing and growing, and something is not going well as the Astons are just falling off completely, as we see Ferrari losing a place to Atman, and Ferrari has no pace on the hard tires, because currently they will score 25 plus 12 points, that's 37. Yeah, then in that case, yeah, with +2, that's 39. In this case, they will have to do. Yeah, then Aston cannot even score like 2 points. But it's very compact at the bottom though, so it will be. I think Aston will be back in the points in a short while, but it will be close, and the calculations will have to be made during the Grand Prix. But Ferrari needs to push like crazy in order to get close to Charker. But Hellraiser and Charker are gonna be fighting, but I think if Hellraiser stays calm, he doesn't get any time penalties, he will win. He will probably take home victory for the 5th time this season. Charker too far behind as Ferrari still fighting with Abdomen, and it's getting worse because we see another Dutchie coming up behind them, and it will be Lane who will be knocking on the gearbox after Ferrari in a short while. So contact made between Rick and Joe. We see Charleston move past Ruben on the main straight. On the minimap, Ferrari moving past Abdomen again, going down to turn 4. As it currently stands, as we see, there goes Rick down the inside of Joe. A nice overtake from the Mercedes driver. Rick showing he has good pace, and Joe looking for the inside line. Turn 6, they both leave each other enough space. Sport now stands at the top. It is still what it is. Lexi, yeah, not the best weekend for Aston Martin. Scoring 0 points in Japan, and now they will score 2 points. And that will mean Ferrari will be constructor champions. as stands right now, because Charles will drop back even back down to P12 with his penalty, and Lexi also has a 3-second time penalty. So yeah, if Ferrari does not stays like this, Ferrari is champions. If I can quickly just make the race results as it is right now, because why not? Fourteen drivers. Yeah, not the best weekend for Charlester, and I think Dave will be punching his head if Ferrari will win this championship still. It's something, but Charlester has moved up into P10, so that's 3 points for them. Right now, as Liam gets another penalty. But Ferrari gaining ground on the we are quickly making what it is right now, as if it stays this way. And the fast lap point is, I think, still in Gele 1's hands. So that's good for Aston Martin. So Ryan also in P8. It will be some good points for them. So we're currently selecting the last drivers off the grid. As we are selecting the last driver right now. There we go. And we see yellow in sector 1, and Commanders are retired, and the VSC is out. And the question is, who will box for new tires? It's not a safety car, it's a VSC. If the chat can move out the fucking way, then I can see something, but we see 2 people boxing. And they assume hard tires will be put on, and they will go to the end of the Grand Prix. But they will drop back a little bit, but it's a little bit. It will be Hayden and Atman, and Ferrari fan will have a little bit of more peace ahead of him. And we see Charlester getting rid of his 10 seconds. Lexi climbs up to P6, 7, so that will be enough for Aston Martin right now. But they both will have to do another pit stop. Charlester will probably go to the end. But he's on mediums or is on hards? It looks like. Let me check real quick. Hard tires, so Charles will go to the end. 20 laps, he can definitely do that. And yeah, it will be chaotic. That is something we are in for in Brazil at the moment. Yeah. Haha, very funny. You see, yeah, Ferrari has actually gained 2 seconds on the leading pair in the last 2 laps. So Ferrari doing a very good job holding up the rest of the grid. Currently, as it stands, with these results, before Lexi climbed up to P8, Ferrari is Constructor Champions with 2 points. But if we're going to switch around the results, as it is right now, with Charlester being in P12, Liam DNF'd, and Lexi dropping back down to P9, It's still Ferrari with 3 points, leading the way. But Lexi actually losing a lot of places actually. Not doing too good. He lost to Rens. To Gele 8 and Rens. It's Lexi making a mistake again. Not looking too good for Aston Martin. P10 and P12. And Ferrari looks like it could be leading away with it after all that hard work. But the race is not over yet. Pit stops are still to come. As the front two have to make a pit stop. Johnson has pitted twice already, so he will go to the end. Lexi as well needs to pit one more time. But actually, Gele and Atom have actually put themselves in a very good spot here. If they can, hold on with these tires. Rumi now gets fast up with 19.8. Trent and Lexi. Lexi is off again! Oh my goodness me. And the heartbreak for Aston Martin will continue on. When the pressure became too much, it looked like it has all come down as Evan's fighting with Ryan in the moment. Evan probably getting past on the main straight. And the pain it's happening for Ferrari, for Aston Martin I should say. It's just becoming too big. Joss is now a little bit closer to Ruben. As Joe gets a 3-second time penalty, multiple track limit violations. Fighting with Rep. Admin as well getting one. So, and it's not looking too good for the man in green. French getting a burny 16 seconds time penalty, so he likes to actually gain one more point. But it's not looking good for the team. Yeah, right now Elrace is still leading the way with 15 laps to go. Farfan 6.7 lost 6/10 on the previous lap compared to CJ. CJ is losing time as well. CJ is out of DRS. Yeah, he's in it again, so nothing too bad to learn because DRS tech support is on the main straight. One going uphill. Turn 13. Where you get the detection point. As we see CJ pitting on lap number 22 I should say, pardon me. Going to the mediums for the last stint of the Grand Prix. Or is it the hard tires? I could not see. Medium hard tires for CJ. So again, a hard tire. A Ferrari leading a 1-2 again. And Hellraiser will probably respond with his own pit stop in a minute. And we'll go to the hards or the mediums. 13 laps on the mediums will be tough. Scalane's hunting down the rest, hunting down his rival. CJ will come out in P8, will be a little bit in traffic. And Aston Martin, there's nothing to say. It's not looking good for them. That's the only thing I can say. But as Hellraiser moves into the pit lane as well, the Austrian will pit on lap 23, and I think maybe his teammate will join in as well. No, his teammate will continue on for one more lap. The driver will lead some laps in Brazil. Hellraiser moves onto the hard tire, it looks like. Is there the rest of the grid moves past them? Hard tires for Hellraiser, but the most probably will be ahead of his rival. And it looks like CJ will get the better of him. But Hellraiser has it inside line, but it looks like CJ is ahead of his rival. And Hellraiser and CJ provisionally will take the lead with the fastest first sector. Let's see Adwin and Joe going wheel to wheel, uphill. All the green cars are in the bottom. It was a miracle they needed for now. But Atman has actually gained a lot of time, and Joe losing his rear like crazy. These tires for him are dead, and Joe will probably come into the pit lane at the end of this lap. And looks like someone, Gele tried to overtake him. Yeah, and we see Joe and Rick both going into the pit lane. And we see Fryer pitting as well. And there the medium tires will go on for the Merc, for the Mercedes driver. And Atman will lead a little bit in Brazil, and Gele not too far behind. The CJ is also not too far behind Gele. Now Razor also same for him in the DRS. Laxi will pit on lap 25 as well for his final pit stop. As Charlester hunting down Ruben. But Charlester moves up into P10 for now. But they need more points, the Aston Martins. P10 and P11 simply will not be good enough. Yeah. Now they're now they're 4 points behind them. So Aston Martin will have to do some work in order to get back in the championship fight. Looking into right now, will Afterman pit on lap 25? He will not. Gele will also continue, but he has CJ in his rear view mirrors. But CJ will breeze past, and I think Hellraiser will go down the inside as well. And Hellraiser moves up into P3 and already looking to take the lead off Charker's hands. Charker does not have the DRS down to Red Pasta. We go, and I think the Austrian driver will have a breeze of an overtake. Not too much of a breeze, but will certainly be ahead of the Englishman going into lap 26. Ryan pitting and is now P8 for now, but it looks like maybe Charlester and Ruben can catch up to him on the pit exit. I do not, Dave. Cool, and this is the lead fight we are having for the lead. 4 cars, all in almost a second of each other, 1.5 seconds. Currently, Adam will go in the pit lane. He will not. He will fake a pit entry, and Hellraiser will breeze past him. And I think Charker will make it also very easy. And down the inside he will go, and Charker moves up, but Adam will try a switcheroo. Does not work though. And yeah, and will right now Hellraiser needs to keep his calm in order to win this Grand Prix. Fryfan has also pitted, but it's now P5. But the leading cars ahead of them both need to pit still. Yeah, Charlester is finally in the DRS of Ruben. And yeah, P8. Currently looking at it as it stands right now. We're going to grab the standings again. Really going to watch with the drivers in front. Charles is currently in P10. But Charlester is very, very close to Ruben, going uphill into turn 7. So I think I will watch a little bit with here, because we're going on the main straight here. They're just going through the tricky sector, sector 2. I think, yeah, Ruben is ahead of them, but Charlester is a P10. So we'll do this. And it's still Ferrari leading with 4 points between them. So Charlester needs to get at least a P8 finish, and that will be good enough for them. And I think Charlester will overtake Ruben. But I don't know what the penalties are ahead of him. 3 seconds. And that will be enough for 4 points. But Charlester not making the way he needs in order to get closer to his rival. But those tires will start to wear a lot, because he's been on them for a lot longer. 9 laps already on his hard. Still 9 laps to go. Just not getting close enough. Ay. Fryfan is still P5, and he needs to gain those places fast, because otherwise it will not be looking good for Ferrari again. It's just something you do not expect. Ferrari getting a 1-2 in qualifying, which was very good. Just the rival starting in P3, dropping back on the opening lap of the Grand Prix. It's not looking too good for them. It's literally the only thing I can say. It's not looking good for the guys in green. So, yeah, if currently now Aston Martin champion with 1 point, if Ferrari stays in P5, then Aston Martin world champions. But these two need to pit still, so they will lose a position automatically to who is the fast lap? So that's Ruben. No, they have pitted. Oh my goodness! Wait, yeah, they pitted on the safety car. So I completely forgot that. And Charles is now moving up to P9. Oh, both going off track. It's just like Lewis and Max in 2021. Literally spot the differences. Jesus Christ! But now, yeah, Aston Martin currently still world champions, so Ferrari fan needs to get his move on, but Charles gets a 3-second time penalty. Ruben going deep in turn 8. Oh my, I completely forgot. Oh wait, what was that? Somebody spun. Oh, is that Joe? Oh, that's Joe. Joe has spun, and that will not help Ferrari, but that will help Charlester. Oh my goodness. What a chaotic last round we're having right here. Yeah, but yeah, Ferrari's not gaining. He is not gaining on them. The tires are probably already done. 5 laps, 11 laps on the hards. Yeah, they're going to the end, that's for certain. But they both pitted under the VSC, so that helped them. But yeah, Ferrari fan, I don't know if it's gonna be going well for Ferrari at this point. Hellraiser gave everything, and I think they are 1 short. They're 1 point short at the moment. Oh my goodness! Chaos erupting in Brazil. Yes, now they're 2 points ahead. Oh my god! Ryan getting a 3-second time for multiple track limits. So that will be, I think, another place. That will be another place for y'all. No, that will not be another place. No, there will be. Never mind. And Ferrari needs to get a move on. He needs to get a win 5 seconds compared to Abdomen in order to get close. Yeah, do that. Yeah. He's on the medium tires. He should be doing that. 6 laps, but to be fair, the mediums are kind of cooked at the end of the Grand Prix, so he will be struggling at the end to get those tires home, and that's why I thought the hards were just a better optimal tire for him. Oh my goodness, something needs to happen, because maybe if one of the front runners spin, then that will be gain an extra 2 points for him, and then it will be all equal on points again. Then it will be Ferrari leading, taking the title. It's so close here in Brazil, and that is just something. Oh, it has gone either way. Oh, just so impressive as Admin is now out of DRS of Gele Eend. No, he's still in DRS, I believe, going uphill. And DRS will activate now. If he has it, he has it. But Admin will bid. Admin is pitting. Still, those hards were not good enough, and he will go to the softs, and Ferrari will move up 1 more place. Oh my goodness! So it's I think equal on points. Added race if we're gonna move Thriven 1 place up compared to Abdomen. Yeah, it's equal on points, but for Aston are still leading because I think they have more victories. Oh my goodness me! The first time we're maybe seeing this in VGPR history, a team finishing on equal points for the lead of the Constructor Championship. Ruben, no, what? No, Ferrari are winning it, because Charlester has a 3-second time penalty, and Ruben is still behind him for the last 4 laps. It may come down to the penultimate laps, to Admin pitting for fresh soft tires, from Charlester getting a 3-second. The only thing Ruben does not need to do is take a 3-second, otherwise Aston Martin are champions of VGPR. It's gonna be so goddamn close. It's just something you don't see normally in league racing. A team finishing on equal points. Oh, it's just so close together. It's beautiful to see this fight going down in this league, of course. Something we all hope to experience, a beautiful championship fight like Lewis and Max, Kimi, Alonso and Lewis in 2007 and the whole 2010 and 12 championship battles. They're all beautiful, but also Constructor Championship can be beautiful as well. The fight for the Normal Constructor was maybe not too impressive, but the rest certainly is, with 3 laps to go. It's so goddamn close. But Ruben made a little mistake. Charles could go deep actually into turn 12. Ruben now 1.7 behind. Adjuster finding his space again. Almost 2 seconds now between the two. This is Ruben on the mediums? No, he's on hards. No, not actually going wide actually there. Yeah, Ataman actually is not being able to set a fast lap at the moment. I don't know if he's doing anything too good at the moment. See if he goes fastest. Soft tires are pretty quick. I think he will go fastest at the moment. He will. 19.7. It's only 2 tenths faster than Ruben's fast lap. Not too bad. Not too good for him actually. But currently, it can go any other way, because if a driver makes a mistake or something happens, it can all be over. Let's look at the time penalties. Ryan, yeah, but I don't know what the gap between them is. It looks like Ryan will. Yeah, it's not close enough. 5 seconds. That's now 2.2 seconds. Oh, it's so goddamn close. It's just so unbelievable close, and it's 3 laps to go, and now it's gonna be 2 laps. Oh, we're gonna see what will happen with the wins, because the app is saying Aston Martin is champions, but now Charker will take the lead at the Brazilian Grand Prix on the penultimate lap. But it will not matter, because he got the 3-second time penalty, and Hellraiser will just stay behind him. If he will probably will not find him that hard. It's Thrive and losing it at P2, but I think Hellraiser will just breeze past the McLaren again, and it certainly will. Yeah, but CJ has a 3-second mate, so he will not win unless Hellraiser will make a mistake, and then it's all over and out. Knock on wood. But we'll see what will happen with the finishing results. And it's almost out of that 3-second range between Ruben and Charlester. Charlester has 4 tenths to win in 2 laps time in order to maybe make Aston Martin champions. That will be so goddamn close with the rest of the grid, and we'll need to watch what will happen with Ryan, because he has a 6-second time, but we'll let you show it right now. Also the gap between the leaders, it's so goddamn close, and Charlester is looking for that victory, for that championship. Because if Ryan is currently in P8, it's currently in P7. Joe is behind him. So we're currently looking at it right now. Rick is in P7, but Ryan, we're on the penultimate lap of the Grand Prix. And the timings are going crazy. And this will be the most chaotic finish you will ever see. Probably in VGPR history. This is something we have not experienced before, with a team equal points going into the last lap of this Grand Prix, with Aston Martin blowing almost a 36-point lead. Ferrari getting a 1-2 in the race. Hellraiser did everything right. He led almost every lap of the Grand Prix, and he has done what he needed to do. Ferrari fan, maybe a little bit of bad luck with his strategy, but for now a P4 will do, with Aston Martin not scoring good points, 2 points for now. But as it stands, it may be enough for a provisional P8, and that could mean they are champions. But for now, it will stay in the hands of Hellraiser, who will win the Brazilian Grand Prix, going uphill for the final time in Season 3. Currently, the standings, as we're seeing right now, it looks like Aston Martin will win the championship. For now, Hellraiser is the final winner. It's a photo finish across the line, though. Hellraiser will still take victory. But what will it be for Charles? The G8, P3 for him. Fryfan up the hill. Adams behind him though, but it will not matter, because he will have that 3-second time. But that is good news for Fry, but he will still try to defend that position. He will defend it. Atman, P5 for him. Yellow 62. Is that an Aston Martin I see? That is Lexi I see. But for now, will it be enough for Chalster to claim that P8 and make Aston Martin world champions? We'll see. Across the line now, we'll go with the switch driver. He has done everything he needs to do for now. Not the best luck, but will it be enough for Aston Martin to become an Aston Martin are the constructor champions of VGPR Season 3 in Tier 2 with Chalster pulling up the drive and with 500 of the with a half a tenth, Ryan will give Aston Martin the championship. Lexi will take his time. Not the best race for him, but Aston Martin are the champions of VGPR Season 2 with 2 points between the two, and Chalster pushed everything he had need to do, and Ferrari will go home empty-handed for the third season in a row in Tier 2 with Hellraiser putting on an outstanding drive. But Ferrari fans' lack of confidence in the race cost them maybe the championship, we don't know. But it is 237 points between 271 points. For now, it is celebrations for Aston Martin claiming their first title in VGPR. Ferrari will have to wait another year in order to get close to it. And this is the standings as it stands. Hellraiser leading the way from start to finish, claiming home a beautiful victory for victory number 5 in Tier 2 and victory number 5 in VGPR. CJ getting close to P2. K8, good comeback drive to P3. Ferrari fan. Not the best race for Ferrari. Happened climbing up some place with the fast lap points still. But Chalster has done everything right he needed to do and got that P8 they needed. And Ferrari fan, and Ferrari in general, not just Ferrari fan, will be devastated with this loss. 2 points between the two, and it will be all over. Next season, we will hope to see this battle between these two teams continue on. And for now, VGPR Season 3 will come to an end, and we'll see you probably in a month's time for pre-season testing for Season 4. And I think a certain Alfredo will not be happy. And we'll see you next time in VGPR when we're going racing again for pre-season testing in Season 4. Have a good night.